I would like to say that this program would not have happened because from yesterday to today, most of you will be so shocked that why will the author of this very beautiful book launch be dressed like this? And believe me, this was the dress I wore since last night, those who saw me. So I have been here. I went home once and I came back. I've been here throughout because what happened is that there were some scrupulous people who has tried to jeopardize the event. The venue wasn't completely paid. And all means possible, everything was done to make sure that this occasion was stopped from happening. But with the prayers of my dad and good people, with the help of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, under Permanent Secretary both Ibrahim Sissoho and Louis Moses Mendy, with the help of Dr. Ismail Sise, Momodou Sabali, with the help of Uncle Bukashi, who left, and few other names I might not have mentioned. It's because of them we are in this hall. So therefore, I would like you to thank them, as I also thank my sponsors, especially Official Gambia Limited, Yaram Arts. I want to thank the Kunta Kinte Foundation, and I also want to thank the Office of the First Lady, GAJ Vision Development Foundation, the PLO chapter in the Gambia Revenue Authority. In fact, when I was so shocked and traumatized last night, I was desperately in a condition that was so funny because having sold tickets and having invited the likes of PLO to be one of my keynote speakers, to cancel the event wasn't the answer. So during that process, I look around, everywhere, and I had to talk to few friends and family members. Those who were able to gather what they had, we put it in the book launch. And one of them came rapidly, today trying to jeopardize the event by even sending a message in my organizing committee group. So I don't want to mention names. I'm not very good at talking. I talk when I'm writing. And that is why I want to tell you what inspired me to write the book, Africa, not Africa. I've traveled to 15 different countries across Africa. When I was a student, actually, I heard about Ghana Empire, Mali Empire, Songhai Empire. I've never been there. Part of my work with the African Union, I was redeployed to a foreign country different from my country of origin. So therefore, I resided in Mali. I was in Bamako, Hamdallah, precisely. And then I had the chance to visit Timbuktu, Gao, and I went to other neighboring villages and places within Mali. And I had the chance to realize that Islam was brought to Africa by Mansa Musa, and it was spread across the Black African continent. Can I just say West Africa precisely, by Mansa Musa. And that Mansa Musa, history has recorded him as the richest human being on earth. But why is Africa poor and why is Mali poor? I leave you to answer that question. When I visited the library and the museum in Timbuktu and Gao in Mali, I noticed that Africans have been deceived. When I was in Johannesburg in South Africa in Pretoria, what happened? I had Zulu friends, the Xhosa, and then they speak the language of Afrikaner. What is Afrikaner? Afrikaner is the language and the culture of the Black people, us. The dream of Kwame Nkrumah, Nelson Mandela, the Africa of Thomas Sankara is the Africa that is spelled with the K, not with the C, that is given to us by the white people. Therefore, I reject the Africa that is spelled with the C for the Africa that is spelled with the K, and the K is Afrikaner, and Afrikaner is the language and the culture of us, the Africans. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the title of the book, Africa, Not Africa, was a poem I read at the African Union, because the African Union has officially declared Kiswahili as the official language of the African Union. When I had the chance to present a poem at the African Union in the presence of head of states and government, different important people and dignitaries, what I told them was, Kiswahili is good. It's good for Africans to embrace their languages. But we need to look at it critically. When we come to West Africa, we have a peculiar language or languages that is widely spoken in West Africa alone. If you go to East Africa, it's the same. Central Africa, the same. So to choose Kiswahili is really very good. But I think it shouldn't stop there. They should go ahead to identify the 6 or 5 regions of Africa and try to select languages that are spoken there widely to be also recognized as official languages. It is so sad that the Gambia doesn't even have a national language policy with endless workshops. Burkina Faso have a minister for national languages. I'm not saying director, full minister. That was why the African Union had to choose that nation for the official luncheon. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will not like to prolong my speech, but I want to be very precise in my description that it is about time we look at ourselves. I have invited all the media houses you can think of to this event, but very few of them actually happen to turn up. So therefore, those that I'm seeing here, I want to thank you without mentioning names so that I will not mention X and leave Y. And I'm going to call a few names of people so they come here. If you hear your name, you can come. Keba S. Juara, move forward. Can I have Basimbai, Maria Tuba, if she is here? Can I also get Ansumana? Ansu Jata, yes, you can come forward. And the youngest Gambian writer, come forward. Shena Buture, be here. Felicia, come. Yes, Jata, join them. All the young writers, as far as you are a young writer, you are a member of the Young Writers Association, stand here, even without calling your names. You know yourselves. And the poets, all the young poets, stand here. What I'm coming to say, I want the government to listen to me attentively. And that is why I ask you to turn on your cell phones to capture this video. Let's put it on TikTok. Let it be everywhere in the media that I am the one saying it is time for the government to critically look at these young people. Everything I have done, these people could do 100 of it, 100 times more than what I'm doing, but they are not given the required support. When we write to offices for support, they frustrate us. I nearly changed my citizenship to something else, and I am on the verge of doing it. And that is why each and every Gambian youth that I see going through something, I always advise them to be careful and rethink about their nation and country. But a nation is not built by one person, because a single tree doesn't make a forest. But Gambians are very good at castigating, witch hunting, and tarnishing one another's image. Even people who had contributed money for this book launch had to go online, had to go talk about a lot of things. It's because they wanted the program to fail. People will call you a criminal, people will call you a scammer, maybe just because you're owing them something. So if we want to develop, we must put aside our differences. We must put aside everything that doesn't help us so that we can build our nation as a community. Part of my research in Morocco and Senegal, trying to read the Quran, I came across something wonderful. And let me share it with you. And it goes like this. The word intelligent is not intelligence. And the word knowledge is not knowledgeable. And the word relevant is not relevance at all. That is why the government of the Gambia has a big role to play. The Gambia we need is the Gambia of arts and culture. And that is the Gambia that is coming. The Gambia of arts and culture. Because from post-independence, the Ministry of Culture has rotated from Ministry of Youth and Culture, Ministry of Social Welfare and Culture, Ministry of Sports and Culture. Now, we have Ministry of Tourism and Culture. The word is always and culture. And culture is not given a priority. as if it is only tourism that can develop this nation. And when I say culture, I'm talking about Gambian music, Gambian literature, Gambian film, everything inclusive. The National Center for Arts and Culture itself, NCAC, can employ over 5,000 Gambian youths. That office alone can create that job. When I was in Nigeria, in Abuja, I realized that Gambians, most of us are copycats. What do? We copy and paste. The word NCAC is not from the Gambia, it's from Nigeria. And their office was established before us. We went there and created a similar office here. But those people, they have a director general who is the overall boss. They have a director of literature who is in charge of writing, director of music, director of film. But here we have only one director general. We also have sub people working under them. How can Gambian music develop? How? Tell me how. How can Gambian literature develop? How? So I think we need to think about this as a nation if we want seriously to develop. We need to have a Ministry of Culture separately. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to conclude by thanking my organizing committee members. These people have spent tireless, they've done everything so far to make sure that this event materialized. I could remember even late night, some of them will call me to talk about things that are not yet in place for the event to occur. So therefore, each and every one of you, my organizing committee members, I want to say a big thank you. I want to say thank you to PLO, Professor Plo Lumumba, Emeritus, because when I reached out to him, having looked at my book, he understood as a Pan-Africanist, as an intellectual. He understood very well the Africa that I'm talking about. And in no time, he accepted to be part of this event. In fact, he was willing to pay for his flight to come to this occasion. But because of what I have mentioned, they tried to mess up everything. And even having paid the money that I was asked, look at the hall, even microphones are not working. I'm very blunt. I'm somebody straightforward. I'm that type of person. And due to that, I like to speak the truth when it is necessary. I think the Gambians, we should look at ourselves. And then the cost of publishing and book launches should be looked at. You don't expect people like her, youngest Gambian writer, to launch a book. You want them to pay 100,000 for a hall. Where are they going to get it? Ladies and gentlemen, do you know each and every single Gambian writer who wrote a book and is a young person or is launching a book passed through my hands? I've inspired more than 100 young Gambian writers who are successfully writers today. But nobody will tell you. Everything you will see in the media about ML is ML did that, ML did this. So I don't like to talk about myself. I don't know it. From my dress code and appearance, you should know who I am. I like to write and speak in silence. But I think it's about time for each and every one of us to look at each other. If the government can allocate 40 million for media and other things, they should be part of this book launch. You see, previous book launches I heard, it's not just government. Me, even opposition, I invite them. My last book launch, I invited Talib Bensouda. I invited different people. I work with everybody. I'm not a politician. I don't even have voter's card. I don't care. When it is time for me to vote for somebody, I will get it and vote for that person. That is why I don't have it. I don't belong to any political party in the Gambia. I'm not affiliated with anyone. But what I'm saying, I want it to go to TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Let people listen to it carefully. And when What's on Gambia contacted me, I had to say, hold on. Because I knew at that juncture that I had to speak in this tone to an audience like you. You see, we are in a sad nation. We need to redo things. The system of education that's been in existence in the Gambia from post-independence focus on book knowledge. From nursery school to University of the Gambia, you have book knowledge and a certificate, you go and look for a job. You are not even creating a job from your knowledge and education. We need to stop becoming job seekers and create jobs. This is my job I created at the age of 14 for myself. If Gambia don't celebrate me, the world will. The world is bigger than the Gambia. And I write for the world. I don't write for the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 days before this book launch, I had an accident. None of them knew it. I hid it to myself. As we speak, my leg, I had a very serious wound there. The whole world, only 2 people knew about it, because I don't want to put it to them to realize that it is happening. I know how they will feel. So there are a lot of things that I don't like to personally talk about myself. My focus is on the government. If we can give money, you know what I hate? We know Gina Bass, right? Okay. I knew Gina Bass more than 20 years ago in Birkam. I'm not saying 10, 20 years ago. She was Gina Bass, training, running, doing everything. If she becomes Gina Bass and somebody from nowhere calls you to State House to give you 1 million, for what? When she needed the support at that time to be Gina Bass, nobody supported her. Don't wait until the world is saying ML. You want to ask whether ML is married or not so I can give him a car. I don't need it. I am contented with my poverty. It's better than going to rally behind foolish politicians. I am not going to rally behind any politician for money, for car. Let them keep it. I want to die in poverty than please politicians. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the Holy Quran tells us in Surah Al-Hadid, chapter 57, verse 10, that those who spend in charity shall be richly rewarded. What you have done is charity by coming to spend on me, on Gambian literature, coming to support. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 5, verse 8, that blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see the Lord. You are not an exception to that. The Hinduism book tells us in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 29, verse 9, that I look upon all the creation of God, and I have seen none that is more dear to me than you, my dear audience. I want to thank you for your kind attention, and I want you to help me to share this video to reach everywhere. Every year when I'm launching a book, and do you know I launch a book every year? So I've been doing it every year from my pocket. Only a few honest people and institutions will come on board. Even having won the Gambian Literature Award, I cannot even have access to see my own president. So that is a lesson for all of you. You vote for people, you cannot see them. They are not there when you need them. They only come to you when it is time for elections. We have seen the OIC that just ended. Prior to it, you see the preparations. Right now, you see what is happening. Let's write about it. Wal Soyinka was jailed. I am blunt from childhood. That is why before I speak, I ask my father to speak blunt, like Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, like Umar and Bun Khattab. I am blunt, straightforward. And I don't fear death. I die many times in my life. That was why I was in exile. So the truth must be spoken the way it is. Because I knew how frustrated I became. You know, to access this hall, I had to call everybody. And even the people, even the CEO of this place, even the lady in charge of the hall, trying to tell me that, no, you have to pay by force before you do the event. I mean, it's totally wrong. I'm not a criminal. I've never been tried in any court in this country. What I'm doing should be supported by the government. And if they cannot support, they can leave me alone. But they should not put pressure on me on an event like this with these kinds of people. PLO, I apologize for what had happened, and I express our disappointment and sadness on behalf of the young people of this nation. And my good friend, Attorney Anubo, who is the founder of African Writers Space, that is the African Writers Development Trust. The only award I haven't won, maybe is the Commonwealth Short Story Prize or the Nobel Prize for Literature. And when I win it, I will stop writing. And don't be surprised if I change my nationality or travel and don't come back. If I see any young man traveling, I ask them to go. I don't ask them to stay in this nation. Because if you ask them to stay, you are yourself putting a burden on them. If they stay, what are they going to do? So there are a lot of issues. If I want to talk about it, will be a lecture, a whole day lecture. And what's on Gambia, Fine TV, thank God you are live, Star TV. Let's make sure that this is the TikTok of the whole world for them to see and understand the pain, the frustration I've been through. I've been writing since I was 14, and I've done a lot for this country. And I think these young people here deserves our support. So let's clap for them. Now, if you see them in your offices, any one of these faces you see in your office for support, I want you to support them. The support that the government don't give me, let them give it to them. The support the government is giving me or had given me before, I want it to go to these people. They can build this nation. They are highly talented and they need our support more than before. But let us not wait as young people for them to help us. Because my father just said, don't ask what you can do for your country, but you ask yourself what you can do for your country, not what your country can do for you. And that is what I have been doing since I was young. And I will end with the words of my mother. When I was in exile, I was away studying. She told me 3 things. The first one I will never forget. Aklum meti meti akoliata nyaonya alabeyele. And that was why this event happened. She rests in peace. I mean, can I just pray that she rests in peace and all departed souls. And I want to recognize my sister, Nene Galeso. You can stand up. Khadijatu So, Hadi King, stand up, and the family. Yeah, these are my beautiful half-sisters, the same dad, you know. Adama So, yes, you can also stand up. She's also my sister. Everybody. Auntie Daba. Just Nala, Auntie Daba is my auntie with the family. You know, like, if I don't call your name, is because I am in doldrums. I don't know what that means in English, but it means I am in low spirit because I am overwhelmed. And I told my organizing committee, I'm not going to change. You see the way I'm dressed since yesterday, that is what I'm going to give my speech. It's not how you dress, it's how much you have in your bank account. That matters. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your kind attention, and I want to officially declare this event closed. Thank you very much.